This is the cheapest mechanical keyboard that I could find on Amazon, and we need to find out one thing. Does it suck? When it comes to reviewing a keyboard, I'm looking for 5 main things. What comes with it, the build quality, upgradability, comfort in use, and most importantly, how does it sound right out of the box? I mean, this is a mechanical keyboard. Sound is like the most important thing, right? First off, in the box, you get 2 replacement blue Otemu switches. Just 2. That's it. You're only ever going to break 2 switches. You get an LED instruction how-to guide and the keyboard itself. This GT881 racing keyboard. I don't actually know the difference between a gaming keyboard and a racing keyboard, but hopefully throughout the course of this video, we'll find out. This racing keyboard is a full style layout. You'll get the full arrow keys, the full number pad, and the entire top row of function keys. It's pretty lightweight overall, and it's definitely made out of plastic, but we're not onto the build quality yet. Popping off a keycap shows us that we've got blue Otemu switches underneath for the loudest, most obnoxious gaming we can get up to. Oh, okay, I get it now. Racing keyboard means as loud as a race car. I figured it out. Moving over to build quality, we're clearly going to see why this board costs as little as it does. It's fully made out of plastic, and not like a high quality plastic. The case sounds incredibly cheap and feels rickety. I don't know how a plastic keyboard case can feel rickety, but the folks over at GT Racing Keyboards, they found a way. The keycaps also feel very cheap, very thin plastic affairs, and I actually think we've seen this exact keycap set before, and checking ye old keycaps drawer of my tool chest, we have seen these exact keycaps in a previous video, and specifically, that's the video where we upgraded the worst keyboard that I could find at Walmart. At least here, this set only costs $10 as opposed to the $50 that On Gaming keyboard runs for. That's still outrageously expensive. You get a permanently attached USB-A cable on the back, and a couple of plastic feet on the bottom with 4 rubberized parts to keep some grip. Honestly, when it comes to the build quality, yes, it's cheap, but I don't hate it. I'm actually pretty darn impressed thus far with all of the things this board has for such a low cost of entry. Remember, I'm not expecting GMMK Pro here. I'd be impressed if the darn thing works for 10 bucks. Going over to the sound test, it sounds awful. There's no way around that. It sounds hollow, pingy, overly clicky. It sounds like a $10 keyboard to me. Again, it's hard to judge it overly harshly here, but I might personally prefer a cheaper membrane keyboard as opposed to something like this. You can really hear and feel the cheapness of the keycaps. It has this weird feeling that those caps might fall off at any time, and it sounds like a bad version of an old typewriter, but old typewriters have this like nostalgic richness to them. This just sounds kind of rickety. I would also not be shocked to find that we were lacking stabilizers on this keyboard, but we're only halfway through our checklist, and this thing could surprise me at any moment. While we were doing the sound test, let's talk about comfort while typing. I actually typed this entire video script with the GT keyboard, and comfort-wise, it's actually not too bad. It's laid out exactly like you'd expect from a full-size keyboard. The angle with its feet kicked up is perfect for me, and it's tall enough to perfectly work with my existing wrist rest. I do think it's a little too tall to work as a standalone keyboard, so definitely also get a palm rest if you are considering this. I mean, you saved enough money on the board itself, so don't skimp and give yourself carpal tunnel or something. Here's where things get really interesting though. I think this is going to be a monster for upgradability. When I bought this, I totally assumed that it would be like every other budget board I've seen, and that it would be entirely locked down and impossible to get to. But I was completely shocked during the unboxing to find that this $10 keyboard has hot swappable switches. Yes, they are Otemu, and I don't have a lot of those, but the fact that this is hot swappable at all literally blows my mind. Not only is the board hot swappable, but it's incredibly easy to open up, with easy access to screws right on the top of the case itself. Everything is very open and very easy to access. This is awesome. Seriously, the farther we get into the video, the more excited I get about this keyboard. Because while no, I don't think it's something I would personally use at $10, I think this is going to be an amazing canvas to do whatever you want. That's probably what we'll do next week. The PCB is really easy to get out of the case. The case itself looks like it's got enough room to add plenty of density material. The stabilizers are meh, but I think you could put a little work into them and tune them up nice. I think I've got to give this GT Racing keyboard an A+ for upgradability. Other boards of this type generally hide screws under those rubber pads on the feet, or they make the screws impossible to take out, or they just have everything soldered down. I'm seriously impressed right here. So to answer our initial question, does the cheapest $10 keyboard suck? No, I don't think it sucks at all. Sure, stock, it's a little rough, but it's brilliant for the price. It's relatively comfortable, it's stable and spread out enough to type whole papers on, no big deal, and it's so customizable you could turn this keyboard into basically whatever you want. And if you like this video, you should click here to watch a $25 keyboard get upgraded. Click, 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 click. Thanks for watching.